Let me have a quick conversation with you about how to get huge credit limit increases no matter the card or your credit score. This works all the time. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Security Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you had to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to explain to you how to get huge credit limit increases no matter the credit card or your credit score. And this works all the time. The first thing you need to pay attention to is what we call proportion. Okay? Credit card, credit card, credit card. So right now you probably have a credit card, you have $10,000 or you have $15,000 and you want a limit increase. How do you go about that? You want to ask for less than 40% of your current limit. This is what we call proportion. It's really important. Let me give you an example. If you have a credit card right now and you have $10,000 on your credit on that card, right, as a limit, you want to ask for 4,000 increase or less. Do not ask for more. Okay, because when you ask for it, we have found through extensive research that 40% is a sweet spot. Okay, it's the sweetest spot, really. You have a high probability of approval because you're not really increasing the credit card issuer's exposure vis-a-vis you that much. Okay, and you may have a soft pull also. So no hard pull if the issuer's exposure is not increasing much. Think about that. Think about that. So when you're asking for an increase, you want to do two things. You want to have a win-win situation. You want to get the increase you're asking for, and on top of that, you want to have a soft pull, not a hard pull here. Okay. So the bottom line is that there's no risk for the issuer saying that you have too much credit that you're not using also, because you're not asking for that much credit. Okay, and please make the request online. Many credit card issuers allow their cardholders to ask for a credit limit increase online. So if you're asking for this, but before you do that though, make sure that you have a strong relationship with a credit card issuer. In other words, you have accounts with them, or you have a great credit score. This is important, okay? And so you can, so before you actually ask for a credit limit increase, you want to update important information. For example, if you now have higher income, or you have had a bonus or whatever, if your financial situation has improved, you want to mention that, okay? So the bottom line I want you to remember here is do not go overboard. Do not go overboard. Be proportional, okay? You might be tempted to ask for more. You might be tempted to ask for $5,000, $10,000 if you already have $10,000. In other words, double your credit card limit increase. To double your credit card limit. But don't do that, okay? Stick to the 40% rule that I have given you, and you will just be amazed at the probability of approval, okay? 40%. Number two, you want to think about the timing, folks. I'm giving you very specific hacks here. So if you want to get a huge credit limit increase, no matter the credit card or your credit score, timing is important. So you want to apply when your FICO score goes up. Let's say you have something has happened and you just have removed something from, you have removed the derogatory item from your credit report, and now your FICO score jumped by, let's say, 50 points or 100 points. This is a great time to apply. Okay, if your DTI goes down, let's say you have managed to bring your debt to income ratio down, this is a great opportunity also. I'll talk about DTI later on. If your CUR goes down, so your CUR, your credit utilization ratio, goes down, I'll speak about the CUR also later on. But this is what I talk about timing, because you know what? It's important to apply at the right moment. Money, 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 money. Let's say you paid off a big loan. If you paid off a big loan, and we all know that your payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score, right? This is kind of important. So if you just made a big loan payment, chances are you have a lower debt to income ratio. And in some cases, even though a loan is not a line of credit, you still have a low credit utilization ratio. Okay, so this is kind of cool. Or let's say you have received a large windfall at work, or from your uncle, from your late uncle, cash moolah, whatever. The bottom line here is that timing is important. You don't apply for a credit limit increase when you know things are not really working for you. Okay, so it's also important to understand that when you apply for a credit limit increase, there is a chance that they might do a hard pull on you. So be prepared. Okay, put it in your mind. I want you to put in your mind right now that your score might go down by a few points if you apply. So be really clear about saying, listen, this is the card that I want. This is the limit I need, and please have a number. Okay, don't tell me you just want a limit increase. No, talk to me about, hey, listen, I want $4,000 credit limit increase. I want $10,000 credit limit increase. Put a number on the thing. Okay, you want to quantify things. If you don't quantify things, you're just dreaming. You're just letting the credit card issuer giving you a number. Nobody wants that. Pick a number. They might not agree with the number, but they will bring it down and make sure the number is high enough. Okay, this is like when you're negotiating a salary. Okay, you don't want to go too low, or you don't want to start too low, right? So you want to maybe say, I want an increase of $10,000, knowing deep inside that you probably will be happy with five grand. So the credit card issuer will probably say, you know what, we can't give you $10,000 now, but we'll give you $6,000. Either way, you win. The third thing is be patient. It's important. So when we talk about getting a huge credit limit increase, you've got to incorporate the element of patience. Okay. One thing I want you to really understand is that you want to apply 6 months after your last request. So if the credit card issuer just, let's say if they bumped you up maybe 6 months ago or 4 months ago or 3 months ago, you really have to wait 6 months. It's important. The reason is that when they bumped you, they want to see how you use the card, how your payment history is. Okay, you got to give them some time, some room to analyze your transactional volume. This is important. And one thing you need to understand is that, so you apply 6 months after your last request and apply 6 to 12 months after getting the card initially. So if this is your first card with them and the credit card issuer hasn't really bumped you, because they actually they bumped you automatically. But if they don't, you want to wait for 6 to 12 months. And again, this is important because you're trying to tell them, hey, listen, I'm a good card holder. I manage my finances responsibly. Okay, I know what I'm doing, and my CUR is low, my DTI is low. I know what I'm doing, so that they will basically approve you for a credit limit increase, no matter how huge you want it. And it's important to wait for automatic increases. Okay, because some companies give cardholders an automatic credit limit increase when they have had the card for a while and have been using it responsibly. Okay, so those are the two keywords. For a while, I mean, it's not a word, but you know what I mean. So you have a history of using the card, and then you have responsibility in terms of using the card. Okay, so you can also wait for a pre-qualification offer on another card from the same issuer or a different issuer. This is possible also. This is why patience is important, not rushing. Taking time to analyze things, taking time to understand how my credit card usage is affecting my credit score or not. Those are important things, okay? And so big decision time. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you have had this credit card? Or when was the first time you had it? And when was the last time you had a credit limit increase on the same card you want to have another credit limit increase on? When was the last time? Has it been 6 months already or less than that? So this is important, okay? You can also apply when you see the credit limit increase offer in your online dashboard. Some credit card issuers will actually show you by how much you can actually bump up your credit limits. So if you see that, if you love the number, hey, guess what? Go ahead and click on it. The fourth thing I want you to, this is a very important hack, and a lot of people don't know this, but this is important. You want to apply at a branch if possible. I know I said earlier that you want to apply online, but this is because some credit card issuers don't have a large network of branches. But hey, if you have a card with a Chase, a Citibank, a Wells Fargo, like those big national banks, you want to bring your ass to a branch. You want to sit down with a rep. You want to have a conversation. Now, a phone application is also okay. You can call your card issuer. You want to call the number on the back of your card and ask a customer service representatives whether you are you want to ask the customer service rep whether you are eligible for higher credit limits, and the rep may ask you why you're requesting this, as well as whether your income has gone up recently. So it's all about it. It's really important to sort of to explain why you need a credit limit increase and why you deserve it. Okay, but this kind of conversation is it's just a lot better to have it at a branch. Don't let nobody tell you the opposite. Okay, people might be telling you, oh well, it's just it's more convenient. Who needs convenience? You want to be approved, that's all. It's more convenient to sit on your chair, to be on the comfort of your house and just call and ask for a credit limit increase. They're lying to you, okay? Or telling you that you can apply online. They're lying to you. If you have a big national bank as your credit card issuer, you want to walk into a branch and have a conversation. And that way you can gauge your approval odds also. See, it's also important to understand that when you speak to someone, that person is going to talk to the underwriting team. Okay, because every credit card issuer has an underwriting team that looks at certain limit increases individually. Now, they do have a system for automating everything, but if you're asking for if you want a large limit increase, you better talk to someone. Okay, so bottom line is you want to apply at a branch if possible. You want to tell the rep about your financial situation. And I will speak about the financial situation later on, but it's important to explain to the rep again why you need that limit increase and why you deserve that limit increase. If you're able to do a good job at that, this is really good. You'll get the money that you're asking for. Okay, you can talk a bit about what's going on in your life. I'm talking about your job, your family life. Are you trying to purchase a house? Have you gotten a new job or promotion in your current job? You just want to, I'm not asking you to just reveal everything about your life to the lender, to the credit card issuer, but you need to give them or her enough information to qualify you for a credit limit increase. Let me talk to you about utilization. So when I talk about utilization, this is an important hack if you want to get a huge credit limit increase automatically. Of course, we are talking about credit utilization ratio, okay? And this is important because this is the amount of revolving credit you are currently using divided by the total amount of revolving credit you have available. So in other words, it's basically, when you talk about credit utilization, we're talking about how much you currently owe divided by your credit limit, okay? So it's generally expressed as a percentage. So let me give you an example. Let me break it down for you, okay? Let's say you have a total of $10,000 in a credit available on 2 credit cards, and you have a balance of $5,000 on one. Your credit utilization ratio is 50%. 5,000 divided by 10,000. Okay, so you are using half of the total credit you have available. So you can calculate an overall credit utilization ratio as well as the ratio for each of your credit cards. Remember, when we talk about credit utilization ratio, we are speaking about what? Revolving lines of credit, not term loans, just credit cards and lines of credit. Okay, and so you also have a per card ratio, or you have an overall ratio. Okay, and you need to understand that credit utilization is really important because FICO scoring models actually use the credit utilization ratio, and this can have an impact on your credit score, and it's up to 30% of the credit score. This is really important, and this makes this ratio among the more influential factors after your payment history. Okay, so you need to have a clear conversation about that. And not a conversation, but you need to have a clear understanding about that. I'm talking about revolving credit. I'm talking about calculating your per card utilization versus total utilization. Okay, and please keep in mind that you want to have a rate that is below 30%. If you really want to get a huge credit limit increase right off the bat, you want to maintain your ratio below 30%, okay? And this is important. And the question is, should you open credit cards to improve your credit utilization ratio? You can. You can also request a credit limit increase from a credit card issuer that will help you also. This is what we're talking about today, right? And you remember that if you want to manage your credit utilization ratio, that ratio, you can manage it several ways. I just said that you can request a credit limit increase. You can pay credit card balances in full every month. You can keep open credit accounts that have zero balances, even if you don't intend to use them, as long as they don't charge you, let's say an annual, a fee annually. Or you can also open new credit accounts. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. We are still having a conversation about how to get a huge credit limit increase right off the bat. And I want to talk to you now about debt to income, your DTI, because your DTI is an important metric that you need to pay attention to, okay? And there are several factors that make up a DTI ratio. So when we talk about DTI, we obviously talk about credit card issuers, but we also talk about other lenders, including mortgage lenders, okay? And this is kind of important. This is important for you because if one day you want to buy a house or you want to refinance your house, you want to pay attention to your front end ratio, also called the housing ratio, and the back end ratio, which just shows what portion of your income is needed to cover all of your monthly debt obligations, plus your mortgage payments and housing expenses. But here we are talking about credit card. This is what we're talking about. So you basically want to, when you think about the DTI, you're thinking about how much of your money, the percentage of your monthly gross income goes towards your housing expenses, okay, your groceries, all that kind of stuff. And it's important to understand that you just want to add up all of your monthly debts. So this may include your monthly mortgage, minimum credit card payments, auto, student, or personal loan payments, your monthly alimony or child support payments if you are in that situation, and any other debts payment that show on your credit report. So you add up all those monthly debts, and you want to divide that sum by your monthly gross income. Remember, this is actually your take-home pay before taxes and other monthly deductions. Okay, it's a pre-tax income. So you want to convert the figure into a percentage, and that is your DTI ratio. So similar to your credit utilization ratio, you want to keep your DTI as low as possible. Okay, your debt to income ratio must be as low as possible, probably around 30 or 35%. That shows financial responsibility. Okay, this is what we call at least having an ideal debt to income ratio. Even though conventional lenders such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have said that they will actually accept a DTI ratio as high as 50%. We believe on this show that it is just a lot better if you want to have an ideal ratio to be around 28 to 30%. And if you're really, if you go high, you should stop at 35, 36%, okay? And remember that your debt to income ratio can impact your credit score. Okay, this is important. Remember that credit utilization ratio actually has a 30% impact on your credit score, and CUR is linked to DTI. So if you want to lower your debt to income ratio, you want to track your spending by creating a budget and reduce unnecessary purchases to put more money toward paying down your debt. Map out a plan to pay down your debt, make your debt more affordable, and avoid taking on more debts. Now, the last step in this strategy is you want to have a plan B, because nobody is perfect. You might apply and things might not work. Okay, whatever. These things happen, right? But you need to actually first understand that you have options for getting a higher credit limit. You can also apply for a new card. So if you have been good at making on-time payments with the lines of credit and credit cards you already have, and your credit is in good shape, you could be approved for a new card with a higher limit. Even if the limit on the new card isn't higher than the current one, it still increases your overall available credit. So this is kind of cool because a higher credit limit helps you in a lot of ways. It helps you lower your credit utilization ratio. Okay, it helps you also be more financially I would just say you have more options. Okay, so this is a big decision time. Let me ask you a question. What is your plan B? if you're asking for you want to have a higher credit limit increase, what is your plan B? Do you have a plan B? Have you thought about it? So you need to think carefully before requesting a higher limit, okay? And so the question is, should you even increase your credit limits? Okay, so, or do you even know when you are eligible for an increased credit line? Because as I said before, sometimes you have to be patient. It might take 6 months, 9 months, depending on your credit history, depending on how early or how quickly your credit card institution will actually grant you the limit that you need. So those are important things, okay? And what do you need to do before requesting a line of credit line increase? Again, you want to check your credit score, okay? It's important. You also want to check your credit utilization ratio, your DTI also. It's important. And what do you need to do if your request is denied? Because as I said before, things happen, okay? If your request is denied, the credit card issuer basically has to tell you why they denied you, okay? And they need to see those issuers need to see a history of on-time payments and responsible credit usage to actually to evaluate whether you qualify for more credit access. It's all about covering their ass, okay? They are basically mitigating risks here. So if you get denied, don't panic. Everything is fine. You will be okay. Start paying your credit card and other bills on time every month. Make more than the minimum monthly payment and pay down existing balances wherever possible. Try to lower your credit utilization ratio. And you want to settle any existing collections account that you have. So this will really help you. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about how to get a huge credit limit increase, no matter the credit card or your credit score. First, think about proportion. Number 2, timing. Number 3, patience. Number 4, branch. Number 5, utilization. Number 6, debt to income ratio. Number 7, having a plan B. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for being around, and God bless.